Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. If you're new, my name is Ashley and I love to share all sorts of recipe ideas and meal inspiration here on my channel. Today's video is really special because it's in collaboration with Megan from My Main Kitchen and Amanda from Faith Food and Family, and the three of us are bringing favorite summer recipes to you today. I will have a link in my description box for you below for their videos, so make sure that you check them out after you finish watching mine, and let's get into today's recipes. The first recipe that I'm sharing is for a bacon cheese ball, and to start out with, I'm just going to brown up about 10 to 12 strips of bacon, and I like to do this by just cutting it with my kitchen shears and getting it started in a cold pan. You absolutely want to start your bacon in a cold pan because that's going to help the fat to render out a lot better than it would if you start it into a hot pan. And then I'm just going to let that cook until it's crispy. Now, even if you are a fan of less crispy bacon than I am, I do recommend letting it get pretty crispy because we're going to be mixing half of this bacon into the cheese ball, and I just think it gives a better texture, but again, it is personal preference. And here you can see the bacon when it's finished cooking. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove it to a plate that I covered with some paper towel and let that cool while we get together the cheese ball. For the cheese ball, you're going to start out with 1 block of softened cream cheese. I like to go ahead and blend this by itself before I add anything else in, just to make sure that it's completely softened if I haven't let it sit out long enough. And then to this, we're going to add in some milk and then get that well combined. I will have this recipe typed out in the description box below, along with all of the other recipes for this video, so that will give you the exact measurements that you need. So next up, we're going to start adding in our cheeses. I went ahead and grated up 2 cups of sharp cheddar cheese and 2 cups of Monterey Jack cheese. I will have a link in the description box below for the cheese grater that I love to use. I've shared it in my videos many times before. I recommend grating the cheese yourself because it's going to be a much better flavor, and it also saves you a lot of money if you grate it yourself. Once those are well combined, I'm going to go in with about a 1/4 cup of Gorgonzola cheese. The recipe calls for blue cheese, but I prefer Gorgonzola, so that's what I'm going to use here. And then the same thing, you're just going to beat that into the mixture until it is well combined. Next, I'm going to add in some salt and pepper to taste, and then go ahead and stir that to combine. Next up, I'm going to add in some chopped green onion and then also some chopped pecans. If you don't like pecans, you can leave them out or you can substitute them for a different nut. I think walnuts would be really good in this. I really like walnuts with blue cheese. And then we're going to mix that together. And last but not least is the bacon. Here I'm showing you the cooled bacon that I took out of the pan and let rest onto the paper towel. So I'm going to add about half of it into the cheese ball, and then we're going to use the other half to coat it with at the end. And then just go ahead and mix that together, and then we're going to get our cheese balls rolled, and I will show you that process next. So this recipe makes 2 really good sized cheese balls. So here you can see I'm just splitting the dough in half, and then I'm going to put each half onto a sheet of plastic wrap, and then I'm going to roll that into a ball. Now you don't have to do 2 separate balls, you can do 1, but I like to keep it separate because anytime that I'm either taking food to a get together or having people over and it's something that's supposed to be kept cold, I like to have some of it still in the refrigerator and then some out, so that way you can make sure that you're keeping the food at a safe temperature. And this makes it really easy if you have 2 separate balls. You do want to go ahead and place those into the refrigerator for about 2 hours just so it can firm up a little bit before you roll it in the topping. And then here you can see I'm combining the ingredients for the topping, which is the rest of the bacon, some more chopped pecans, and then some fresh parsley. So then you're just going to take each of those cheese balls out of the refrigerator, remove it from the plastic wrap, and then roll it in the topping. After you are finished putting the topping on the cheese ball, you just want to go ahead and rewrap them in some plastic wrap. I do use a fresh sheet of plastic wrap for this because when you do the first wrapping, that cheese ball does stick to the outside of it, and just so that way it doesn't interfere with the presentation of it or get kind of sticky on the outside, I do like to use a new sheet of plastic wrap. And then you want to just put that back in the refrigerator and refrigerate it until you are ready to serve. This is great with any crackers that you like or even veggies. And here you can see it plated up. I just did some club crackers and some wheat thins. The next recipe I'm sharing is for a balsamic potato salad, and this recipe is absolutely a family favorite. Once it turns into spring, summertime, I get asked to make this for every family get together and party that we have. Everyone in my family absolutely loves it, and it's pretty much a happy accident. So when I was younger, I made a potato salad recipe that was on the Hellmann's mayo jar. And when it said vinegar, I thought that it said balsamic vinegar, I think, or I wasn't paying attention and then just used balsamic vinegar. Honestly, up until I went to look up this recipe to link in the description box, I really thought that it was a balsamic potato salad until I realized that I just had made that mistake. But I'm so glad that I did, because this potato salad is so good. So you're just going to start out by dicing your potatoes. I'm just using some yellow potatoes. I've done this with russet potatoes. You can use any kind that you like or whatever you have on hand. I don't even peel the potatoes because we all like the peel. If you don't, you can go ahead and remove that before you cut them into your pieces. Once you have those all diced up into bite-sized pieces, you're just going to put water over your pot. I like to fill mine just until it covers the potatoes, and then I bring it to a boil and cook them until they are fork tender. Now for the dressing, you're going to start out with some mayo. I was trying to measure this for this recipe so that way I can kind of give you measurements to go off of, but honestly, it's kind of just by taste. So I start out with about 1.5 cups of mayo. I used about 2 pounds of potatoes and then 5 hard-boiled eggs for this, just for reference. And then you're going to go in with your balsamic vinegar and a little bit of sugar, and then go ahead and whisk that well together to combine it. And then you're going to season it with salt and pepper. And then you're going to see this is kind of trial and error. I will show you closer up like the color that you're looking for with it, just to make sure that you get the correct amount of balsamic vinegar. Again, it is to taste, but the sugar cuts the tartness of the balsamic vinegar, and I'm telling you, this just has the most amazing flavor, so you have to try this recipe. So at this point, I went ahead and tasted the dressing, and I knew that it needed some more balsamic vinegar and then also a little bit more sugar. So I'm going to go ahead and add those in, and then I'm going to whisk that well together and then give it another taste test, and then we will be ready to get everything assembled together. I also wanted to show you this clip right here. As your dressing is sitting, you're going to notice those little dots. That's just the sugar breaking down in the balsamic vinegar, so that way it gets rid of the graininess. So don't be afraid of that. Just whisk it together and then it will be nice and smooth. So like I mentioned earlier, I did 5 hard-boiled eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and dice those up into bite-sized pieces, and then I'm going to add them to the potatoes that I went ahead and drained and cooled. Now, if you like onions in your potato salad, you can go ahead and add them in. I leave them out because I don't prefer to have onions in potato salad. So it's just the potatoes and the hard-boiled egg. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the dressing in and stir that really well. I didn't add all of it in to begin with because I kind of wanted to see what it was looking like. But keep in mind that as this cools in the refrigerator, the potatoes will soak up some of that dressing. So I like to have a nice, rich, creamy potato salad, so I add a little bit more to it. But if you like it a little bit more, I don't want to say dry, but a little bit on the drier side, then you can adjust the amount that you use to your preference. And then you just want to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator to let it cool, and then you will be ready to serve. And I promise you, everyone will be asking you for this recipe. The last recipe that I'm sharing in today's video is for the sugar cookie pizza, and this cannot get any easier or more festive for this time of year. So if you're looking for a good, easy dessert for like a 4th of July party, this is absolutely perfect. You're just going to start out by taking a tube of sugar cookie dough and pressing that into your pan. You can use an 8x8, which is what I'm using, or you can use a pizza stone or a circular pie plate, whatever you prefer. So once you have this patted out, you're just going to bake it according to the package directions. So mine was 375, and then you just want to cook it until it is just cooked. You don't want it to be hard. You want it to still be a soft cookie. and then take that out of the oven and let it cool. I actually cooked mine the day before and let it cool overnight, and then I went ahead and made the frosting. And for the frosting, you're just going to take 1 block of softened cream cheese with 1/3 cup of sugar and blend that well together until it is combined. You can also add in vanilla extract for additional flavor. I was out, so I did not use it, but if you have it, I would recommend it. And then we're going to spread that on top of the cookie and top it with our fruit. So I chose to use some blueberries and strawberries that I just cut up into smaller pieces. You can use any type of fruit here that you like or that you have on hand. If you are wanting to make this for 4th of July and make it patriotic if you live in the US, then I would do the strawberries and the blueberries because it gives you the red, white, and blue. But again, you can use anything that you like. And just like the other recipes, you just want to keep this refrigerated until you are ready to serve. I really hope that you enjoyed seeing these recipes today. Again, please don't forget to check out Megan and Amanda's videos. I will have those linked in the description box below. I'm also going to share a link to a recent video that I did that is featuring 3 cold summer appetizer recipes. So if you're looking for more inspiration, make sure you check out that video as well. And if you haven't done so already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel before you go and join my YouTube family. I hope that you have a wonderful day.